All right, I think we're ready to go. Hey everyone, my name is Shashank, and I am a data analyst working for a major North American fashion retailer. And you're just joining my live stream. This is a live stream where I come on every Friday and I just do a Q&A for about an hour with anyone that's interested in learning more about the field of analytics, analytics, data science, data engineering. I have some level of experience in all of them, although I am a data analyst. Um, and yeah, if you have any questions about, myself, about the field, what you want to learn, then this is the place to get them answered. So, hello, Dr. Bacon. Thank you for joining. All right. So, I'm going to open up this stream on my computer as well, or on my phone as well. Hey, Chaitan, nice to see you again. What's up, Dr. Bacon? Nice to see you again. All right, let us open up this live stream on my phone too. And I should also let you guys know, so this live stream as a thank you to all of your support from all of you guys, I'm actually going to be doing a small giveaway with this live stream. So stay tuned to hear what the giveaway is. And if you can't stay tuned right now, I'll be running the giveaway for like the next like 2 or 3 days maybe. That way, I have some viewers in Europe that can't just join on at this time all the time. So what's up, Rumiel? Rumiel, I think. Hey Ben, nice to see you again, Ben. Nice to see you. Rumiel, I think this is the first time I've seen you here. So great to see you. Great to see you. Let me just put this over here. Um, so I'm actually trying to like get a better live streaming setup. But currently I can't really. I don't really. I can't really invest in one. All right. So let us put you guys over there. So yeah, let's get started. What do you guys want to know? This week, yeah, so I'll be running the giveaway a little bit later. This week, I do apologize for not being able to get a video out this week. I've had to commit more time to the consulting work and my full-time job over the past week, but I'm hoping to get one out within the next week or so. We'll see. So I haven't stopped posting, just haven't had much time to do that right now. Oh, and I should also let you guys know, in case anyone is interested, I do have a TikTok where I post basically the same content I post on YouTube as far as the um, what do you call it, the data analyst questions are concerned. But in addition to that, sometimes people will like ask me questions, and I'll post short video replies on TikTok just because it is really difficult. Like YouTube doesn't really let you respond to people by video. They only really let you respond to people like through text. Hey, Saiteja, nice to see you. Nice to see you, Joshua. Nice to see you, Dr. Bacon. Okay, so speaking of data engineering, can you speak a little bit about how those skills pertain to the work of a data analyst, if that makes sense? Yeah, no problem at all. Okay, so what is a data engineer? You know what? Would you ever consider doing an analytics position at any FANG companies? Yeah, I definitely would. If not for the resume booster, a company like Apple especially, or Google to an extent, are companies that like I am just a big fan of their products. So I actually would like for sure consider jobs at those companies. Haven't been offered one yet. I was I was approached by an Amazon recruiter a couple of months ago, but they wanted me for a heavy supply chain analyst position, and I didn't think it was going to take my career in the direction I wanted it to go. All right, so sorry, Dr. Bacon, back to your question. So speaking of data engineering, can you tell us a little bit about how those skills pertain to the work of a data analyst, if that makes sense? Okay, I do want to try something out. Okay. Yeah, okay. So what is a data engineer? So a data engineer, like if I want to condense the entire field into like, like the simplest thing I can, a data engineer essentially is supposed to figure out how to pipe in data from different like disparate sources and put it into well organized, neat, easily accessible tables for the rest of the organization to see. So they kind of like make everything easier for the data analysts and data scientists to operate off of. So I think if you're going to be doing any data analyst work, it depends on how big your company is. If your company is large enough, then they may not even allow you to do that much work as a data analyst in the engineering space. But I used to work at smaller companies, and the only people that like could pipe in the data, like if I wanted it, I had to pipe it in myself. There weren't engineers that would handle it for us. So I do think that the skills are definitely useful. Um, but I would only learn them as necessary. So, for example, I only learned Azure and AWS whenever I needed them, and Google Cloud whenever I needed it. And then, there's a bunch of cloud providers I've never used before, and I only learned these technologies whenever I need them. I hope that answers your question, Dr. Bacon. It is a bit of an open-ended question, but I mean, I love those types of questions. They give a lot to actually talk about. All right, and everyone say hi as you come in. It's say hi if you feel comfortable. Say where you're from. I like to see the diversity of people that we have around here. And I'm a huge travel nut and like a big like I just like love seeing other cultures and stuff. So it's always interesting to see what other people are or where other people are from. Okay, so Ben Nayakundi, would you ever consider? Oh, sorry, I already answered that question. Chris Lai, hi, I want to know how to build a portfolio with no prior experience for data analyst. Going to attend MS in Stats with a BS in Math next year. Want to make good use of my gap year. I'm learning R, SQL, and Power BI right now. Awesome. R, SQL, Power BI, great things to learn. Every data analyst, I think, eventually needs to learn this stuff. Um, all right, so how to build a build a portfolio. Okay, so what I always tell people is that you what I always tell people, right? If you want to build a portfolio, don't worry too much about the portfolio. Just think about like an individual project, because people are like worried about building like portfolios, meaning they're worried about building like 3 or 4 different projects, 10 different projects. And I would actually say worry about like it at like a project at a time. So for example, um, what I like I the example I always give on these live streams that like I'm like a huge car nut, and I really love learning about like just cars and stuff, anything to do with cars. And so I would get like crash test data from the U.S. like Institute of like Highway and Traffic Safety, and then I would build like a dashboard out off of that. And then after you do that basic exploratory data analysis, you'll have more questions you want to ask yourself. So for example, like if I was to do a project on like cars, I would download the data using a Python script from the NHTSA website, even if I didn't really need to. I would start cleaning out the data. I would put that data into a Tableau workbook and then I'd make a dashboard out of it. And I have more questions. Okay, well, it turns out that, I don't know, Pontiacs seem to crash more often than Chevys. Why would that be the case? And then start looking at different factors from there. So I think to answer your question, Chris Lai, think about something you're particularly interested in, because that the whole point of a portfolio project is like talk to an interviewer about it. So think about something you're interested in and go ahead and find data related to that and then learn more about that thing. And because you're interested in that thing, you'll know what questions to ask as well. So and if I didn't answer your question well, let me know and I'll come back to it. All right. What do we have here? Dr. Bacon, for sure, thanks. Yeah, my company is massive, so I doubt I'll be using DE skills in my work. Can't hurt to learn them though. Exactly. I'm a huge proponent of it. It can't hurt to learn. Um, and yeah, if you work in a massive, like I work in Nordstrom, right? And Nordstrom's not a massive company, but it is a large company. And I don't get to do much data engineering work anymore. We have like proper engineers to handle that. But the other 2 companies I used to work at, I would handle some of the data engineering work. Uh, Baltimore, nice, nice. Brazil, awesome. Costa Rica, Canada, nice, nice. Where in Canada, if you don't mind me asking? New Orleans, nice. I love the city. Frankfurt, Germany, nice to see you, Sanjay. Nigeria. Okay. I only know about Lagos in Nigeria, but if you're from a different state, let me know. Uh, Poland, nice, nice. Honduras, okay. Miami, Florida. What's up? What's up? Okay, cool. That I answered that question. Okay, so let me go back up to the top and see what the next question was. And for anyone just entering, because I see that our viewers are going up right now, my name is Shashank Kalanathy. I'm a data analyst, and I have this YouTube channel that I designed in order to tell people and teach people about the world of data science, analytics, and data engineering. And the reason I want to do this is because I actually graduated with a chemistry degree, and I had no skills um, in analytics or anything, and I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life. I just happened to fall into analytics, and it's been a tremendous way for me to have a both fulfilling and lucrative career, both like monetarily and like spiritually. It's very I just like the work I do. Spiritually, might not be the right word, but you know what I mean. And that's why I created this YouTube channel. I want to like spread the gospel of analytics and show people, hey, this is a great career for anyone interested. And I want to show people what it's actually like in the world of analytics. I don't think enough channels do that where they show like real work. So for example, like on my YouTube channel, you'll see these videos, day in the life of a data analyst. And these are videos where I actually show you what a data analyst does on a regular basis. Okay, so next question. Uh, Gerardo Perez, greetings from Mexico. How did you decide to begin this YouTube channel? Oh, well, there you go. I just answered your question. So yeah, that's basically it. data analytics really gave me a lot of purpose in my life currently. Like I don't want to make it sound like I do nothing but work. But I think work is a very important part of our lives, and analytics gave me something that was both lucrative and interesting to do. And I really like the career because it is applicable to literally anything. At some point in time, everyone needs an analyst, and everyone needs analytics done for them. And analyst skills can be used at any point in time. So that's part of the reason I like this career. Uh, Calgary, cool. Morocco, awesome, awesome. Thank you, Marvelous. It's great to hear that. Yeah, I consider myself an intelligent person, but my I don't have a degree or anything in what I do. Um, so I think anyone can do what I do. All right, Cameron Arsenal. I'm a teenager, and I just finished learning Python on a Udemy course. What do you think I should learn next for getting into data analytics? I want to go mostly into sports analytics. Okay, sports analytics. Go ahead and follow Ken G's YouTube channel. So Ken G spelled Jee. Let me find my mouse. Ken G. So go ahead and follow his YouTube channel. He is a sports data analyst, or he was. I think he still is, but he definitely was at some point in time. So go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have a free Python course, a free Tableau course, and a free SQL course, and I'm going to put out an R course at some point in time too. Um, And all of that's to say, I think the next thing you should learn is Tableau or Power BI or Google Data Studio. These are what you call BI tools, BI meaning business intelligence. And basically, they're tools that are designed to allow you to easily create graphs and see gain intelligence into your business. So I would definitely recommend learning one of those first. And I have a free course on my Tableau. Udemy is great, but I put out all my content for free. And I would say it's just as good as a lot of Udemy courses. Um, all right. Oh, and just as a heads up, guys, based on what happened last time, I'm probably not going to get through all of these questions. I'll go through all of them and try to get through as many of them as I can. If you send me a super chat, then I will definitely answer your question first. And it's a great way to help support the channel. All right, so Daniel Perez Araya. Hey, I'm an industrial engineer student and I want to get a data analyst certification. Which do you think I recommend? I'm currently learning Power BI. So I will give you some what I call it's not something I don't like being like too harsh on people, but I would say that the certifications that like BI tools give, like Tableau, Power BI, these certifications, I would suggest getting other types of certifications. So, for example, Google has something called the Google Data Analytics Certificate. I wonder if I can like show my screen with you guys. And that's a certification that, like Google says is they will count as importantly as a. Can I add a video window capture, display capture? Okay, add source, done. Oh, and then this should go. There we go. Sorry, guys, I'm just adjusting my settings right now. I wonder if you guys can actually see that. Oh, cool, cool, cool. Okay, so I can show you guys my screen. Sorry, guys. I just want to show you guys some stuff that where is Brave? So as you can tell, I don't have a tremendous setup for streaming. Okay, there we go. Okay, so check this out. So Google career certificates. So Daniel, you were talking about what you want to do. So Google actually has this really cool program where they had these career certificates that they uh, do that are actually like they're supposed to be like a replacement for a bachelor's degree. And I think that these certificates are awesome, and I highly, highly recommend them. There's one for analytics specifically, so data analytics right there that I highly recommend. It's really good, and it's a great way to get your foot wet with the um, your feet wet in the industry. Let us put myself over there. Okay, cool. And yes, it's a 100% true. Like analytics is a very, very high growth field. So is Brave good better than Chrome? Hey, AN75, great to see you again. Um, let's see. Better than Chrome. I like it better so far. I would say that you still have to have Chrome because like some websites just won't work with Brave. So I have both, but I use Brave a lot. And so far, I really like it because like what at least based on what it says it's blocked 224,000 trackers and saved me 7 GB of data and 3.1 hours of my time. I'm not sure how they calculate that, but it's nice to see those stats go up. So AN75, I do like Brave. Um, 10G, Mumbai, India. Cool. Mumbai is one of my favorite cities. Every time I go to India, I always want to go to Mumbai. Um, okay, so where was Daniel? Daniel Perez. I am from Costa Rica. Cool, cool, cool. Frankfurt. Sorry, guys, I like lost my place. Can you give us can you give us any tips how to be like you? I'm going to study IT, and after watching your videos, I'm in love with what you're doing. Two, what should I do to improve my skills? What's your advice at the start? Hey, Igor, thanks for joining in from Poland. Um, side note, my understanding is that like Poland has a tremendous IT sector. So, if you plan on working in Poland, it sounds like a great career to have over there. As far as like being like me, I think in that sense, you're talking about how to be like a data analyst. I would say the essential skills are Python, SQL, and Tableau, of which I have free courses on my YouTube channel for all three of those. And learning those three things will give you a huge lead against a lot of other analysts too, because a lot of analysts don't know all three. Um, and those are like kind of like your core tools in working with analytics. And then I'd say Excel as well. So great question, Igor. Okay, Noor Syed. Hello, can you tell me about the tools used by different companies for you know what? Let me, this actually might be a bit useful. Okay, so I can show you guys the chat as I'm doing it. Okay, so you guys can see what I'm looking at. Uh, oh, you know what? Maybe, but I can see this being. I'm just trying to see how I can like show y'all the chat at the same time. Okay, so I guess that's not working. So we'll put that away. Let's put this over here. Sorry for the distractions, guys. I'm still trying to figure out this whole streaming thing. Oh, whoops. Let's put this over here. Let's just bring it over here. Okay. Thank you, Umang. Thank you. You can pop out the chat. Oh, okay, cool. Let me try that. Oh, pop out chat. There we go. Cool. Okay, okay, okay. Awesome, awesome. Thank you. That way you guys can see what I'm looking at. All right, so, okay. Tell me about the tools used by different companies for their data analysis. Will this ever help me in my next switch? They have their own tools for cleaning data and presentation. Okay, so I can tell you my first job is where I learned Tableau. We use Tableau and Alteryx at that job. So Tableau as a tool is a BI tool, and it's designed to make it really easy to like move data around and create charts and graphs and dashboards very easily. We also used a tool called Alteryx. So Alteryx is basically a tool designed to allow you to kind of like replace Python. It's a GUI based system for like actually munging data. So let me see if I can show you guys what Alteryx is. Alteryx, yeah, so basically what you can do with Alteryx is you can use it to like create workflows to like clean up data. So you can see over here, you have this like workflow where like you read in your data over here, you put in a formula over here, you summarize it over here, you join it with that tool. This is a joining tool. This is like a distance tool for geospatial analysis. This is a logistic regression, and then you score your model. So you can run all the stuff you normally would have to learn Python or R for, you can do without learning any coding in Alteryx. The only problem is it's $6,000 per license per user per year. So that's what I used in my first company. And then I moved on to Python and Power BI and Tableau and SQL for everything. All right. Please, please, what's the best way to visualize a large data set with about 100 entry points, like countries, for instance? Um, okay, so I guess you're saying like 100 records. So I would say it is all about aggregating your data as much as possible and showing and working really hard to limit the data to what the users actually need to see. So filters are your best bet over there. And I guess I'll be the first to tell you, like, you can only visualize so many things at once. Like, obviously you can have every single point shown there, but it won't be useful for anyone. So this is why they hire you as an analyst. You need to be able to understand the business requirement and understand, okay, this is what they'll need to see first, and then let people like dig into it and like expand it as they need to, but show people the least amount of data initially. Um, okay. Oh, hey, someone else named Shashank. Um, oh, sorry if you answered. Are you self-taught SQL and Python? Yes, I'm self-taught everything. I was not formally taught anything. Oh, hey, France. Cool, cool. I watched this really interesting video. I don't know if you're familiar with the show Emily in Paris, but I watched this very interesting video where this Frenchman, he was actually a Parisian. He was basically talking about how like he didn't really like Emily in Paris, which I found very interesting. I kind of thought the show was a little bit weird personally too. I don't know if anyone has any opinions on that either. So again, feel free to like throw out other stuff like that there as well. And again, if you want to support the channel, like you want me to answer your question first, you can just go ahead and send in a super chat, and I'll get to your question. I'll answer your question before anyone else's. Okay, cool. Brew Dragonborn. One thing that confuses me is jargon, buzzwords, and data analytics and programming. Would you consider making a video to explain some of those things? Okay, that's a great idea. Let me screenshot this, and I am putting it in my ideas journal. I have that off screen. That's a great idea. I'll go ahead and do that. Okay. Hey, I got my first full time. Okay, so hey, Rumil, I got my first time clinical research data. Congratulations. Awesome, awesome. Hey, congratulations, Rumil. That's awesome. I'm really, really happy to see that the work we're doing actually like is getting people jobs, because that's the whole point of this. We want to get people jobs. Okay, Wes Ed. Hello, I finished aerospace engineering and now I'm doing a master's degree in data analytics. Didn't go too well in aerospace, but in did you say anything after that? Doesn't look like it. Hey, you know what? I'll be 100% honest with you guys. I didn't do very well in my chemistry degree. Maybe in a future video I'll like review my GPA or something. But yeah, I didn't do very well in my chemistry degree. At least in the US, I can't comment on every other place in the world, but like in the US, the great thing is like if you do really poorly in college, honestly, after your first job, no one cares about your GPA or anything really. And if you want to apply to a master's, it can matter too. But like, um, if you're in the U.S. or presumably Canada is like this too, just work really hard at your job and it won't matter. Power BI is awesome. Okay, AN75. This is a random one, but how do you balance your personal goals versus what your Indian parents want you to do? In other words, expectations versus your own expectations. So this is really interesting. I think this is a really really cool question. I'd like to like come up with an entire video on this. I would actually say so. I'm 26 years old right now. So for me, it's it is a bit easier because I can kind of just say what I want to do and like do what I want to do. And like no one can really stop me. And that was like a really like big realization that I had that like oh I'm like an independent adult. I can do what I want. But otherwise, I would say like it really depends on the individual parent, but like a lot of Indian parents like really, really do care about their children, and they're very worried about the stability of their children. That's the big thing, because especially if you grew up in India in like the 70s and 80s. I was reading this great book that called The Billionaire Rods that kind of talked about like the economy back then. India was not the most stable country in the world in the 70s and 80s, so I can understand why parents would be very concerned about the stability of your job and can you like sustain yourself very well and everything. And after I learned to think about that and like speak to them in their language, which is like, oh hey, like what I'm doing is like good. It like like analytics is like a great career. It's what I want to do, and it really is my life. And I like understand the consequences of what I want to do, but I'm also like hedging my bets. So for example, with like YouTube, right? I like didn't put too much effort into it until I had that Survey Monkey video, which like kind of blew up. And I showed them the monetary results of that, and they're like, okay, yeah, this is like something that's real. So I think if you're able to like show them that what you're doing is like you're also like making safe decisions as well, which is probably for your own benefit as well. That's always helpful. Oh, nice, nice. Oh, hey, sorry about that. Let me. It must have been an accident. Where is it? Hi. Sorry about that. Okay. I want to do educational research. Is data analytics the right path to follow or data science? That's a really tough question. I think the good thing about data science is if you follow data science, you can go do analytics afterwards. But it's hard to get into data science having just done analytics. So I would personally, I think data science gives you more options, is what I'd say. But I don't know about your field specifically. Let's see, where are we now? Your articulation, the way you explain the concept, awesome. I'm really glad that you guys think so. I do try and like make my points as clearly as I can. Ooh, it's like we had a big drop in viewers for some reason. Can you create a playlist in your channel for SQL, Tableau, and other courses which are available on your channel? Yeah. Let me go ahead and do that. That's another great idea. I'm gonna go screenshot and then put that over here. Um, Plans to collab with any other data focused YouTuber. So I did a collab with how to get a job in analytics. So how to get a job in analytics. So I actually did a interview with them. So you can see it over here. I think should be one of the more recent ones. There we go. So I did an interview on like transitioning into analytics, and as you can see, one of their more viewed interviews. I think this is a great interview for you guys to watch if you're just trying to figure out what you want to do. This like I tell my entire story here, so I think that this is a great place to see like learn more about myself and learn more about like my like transition into this space. So that's one collab I did. I'm going to be doing another collab with these guys with a day in the life of a data analyst video. I've just been a little bit distracted, so I've had like other stuff to do this week. I haven't been able to put as much time into YouTube as I'd like. Hey, thank you so much, John W. Uh, I wish I could give you like a plus, but I guess thank you so much. Thank you so much. Less smoke is good for health. Just a bro advice. I think I might be missing what you're talking about here. So I don't smoke myself. Oh, this is interesting. What are your hobbies? I like these questions. I do a lot of reading personally. Outside of that, I'd say my hobbies are I spend or more, I don't have as many hobbies right now because I spend so much time like between my full-time job, my consulting work in analytics, and my YouTube channel. I don't have as much time for hobbies as I would like, but traveling was a huge one before the pandemic started. And actually, yeah, traveling was a huge one before the pandemic started. So. How often do you interact with project managers? Every single day. So at my current company, I interact with them every day because we have a lot of project managers and all project and product managers, and like all stuff like goes through them at some point in time. Um, oh, hey, Francis Okoye, nice. Most times, the degree is just as trivial. What matters is your skills, build your skill set. Exactly, exactly. Okay, let us. Interesting. Okay, so I don't know if you're working in the U.S. or not. Again, I should also say that like all my advice really like applies to the United States. I would say the Google certification is getting a lot more buzz right now, so that's probably the one you want to focus on. But the Microsoft one is probably great too. The thing is, Google says that they'll look at your like qualifications if you take the Google certification as if you had a bachelor's. So I would actually say it's definitely worth going for the Google one. Hey, Narsino, would you ever make a scripting tutorial? Could you please tell me like what you would want scripted? Because like my understanding of scripting is kind of just like making code to automate certain work. And so if you could tell me like what you would like to see scripted, that would be awesome. Uh, oh, hey, thanks so much, Joe. Joe Win, great to see you. Uh, and wait, let me go back in order. How long do you think you will be in analytics for? What are your career goals, CEO? I don't really know. I will be in. So I kind of like want to. The thing I like about analytics is it gives me a set of like it gives me like goals of like hard skills I need to like build and create in order to like hard skills I need to like skills I need to like learn. That way I can like actually sell my skills to other people. I'm thinking that honestly, I kind of feel like there's going to be like this concept of like chief data officers, and those are going to become more and more popular as time goes on. So like I could see myself becoming an executive in a C-suite. I think I really want to get into the automotive industry and really work with like cars and stuff, like work at like Cruise or like Toyota has this really cool. Let's see if I can. Toyota has this really cool. Uh, office in Japan. Yeah, the Toyota Research Institute, Advanced Development, and it is a like basically it's this company. It's like Toyota's like spin-off company. So Toyota's actually not based in Tokyo, and this is a spin-off company they created to like work on like self-driving and automated driving and like all the other stuff that they um, do outside of just like selling cars and everything. And I would like to get a job somewhere over here and get into something more um, like more what do you call it? Like industry based, like something in like automobiles or something. Okay, sorry. Okay, awesome. Thank you. Okay, learning Power BI and not Tableau. Oh, okay, okay, that makes sense. In that case, yeah, Power BI. In that case, I maybe the Microsoft one probably makes sense. To be honest, I think it's quite basic, real world on the job type of work would require much more than is taught here. The course is very good for entry level knowledge. Python doesn't cover. I think you're talking about the Google Analytics certificate, right? You're 100% right. I think this is a great overview of that course. Let me just make sure I'm not missing anything. All right, back to the top. All right. Cool, cool. Gareth, let's see what. Okay, anyone from the UK in the house? I have a question. How do you plan out and execute work done on your learning? As in, how do you keep yourself accountable and continue learning and measure progress? Okay, so I think, okay, so this is an interesting question. So when it comes to like, I think the way I learned Python is a great like way to like show how I learned. So I had been trying to learn Python basically ever since I became an analyst, which was like a couple of years ago, but I only like really focused on it last year. Um, and a thing is, I wasn't able to actually learn it until I like left the company that was giving me Alteryx. Remember, Alteryx is this tool that can kind of like replace Python, but is very expensive. And I kind of had to learn Python. And then so what happens is I went to Kaggle, and for those of you that don't know, Kaggle is a website that's like learning for data analysts. They have like a lot of data analysts and data scientists like learnings and stuff. So you can like create like they have tutorials and everything. They have like competitions, code courses. Um, and I went to Kaggle and I tried learning through here how to like, or I tried like doing a Kaggle competition, but like I was getting so caught up on syntax that I'm like, okay, Sean, you have to learn Python first, then only you can actually like do something on Kaggle. So that's kind of like how I learned. And I just learn as I need to. So for example, I learned Google, like how to do some stuff on Google Cloud because I needed it for a client recently. I learned Google Data Studio because it was a free solution that worked on Macs that I was able to use for a client. So I think that that's how I learned most quickly. And I measure progress. I don't really measure progress, and I think that's probably something I need to do better. So I think this is a something that I need to work on that I can do better. I did the course and wanted to transition to full-fledged analyst. Well, what was a bit? The course is quite basic. I think you're 100% right, and it's like very much like just starting. So I think if you take the course and then like follow my YouTube channel where I show you guys what I actually do, you can follow along what I do, and you can actually like learn as I'm learning and like like do as I'm doing. All right. I wanted to ask you one thing. How do you keep up with remembering stuff? I've been an analyst and did SQL day and night. Now into DevOps, kind of feel like SQL thing takes. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so I do a lot of googling with SQL as well. It's honestly just practice. And I think the only thing is it's you either practice every day, you take amazing notes, or you only learn it as you need it. So for example, people will like study for their interviews, and then they'll kind of like forget it until they use it again. So don't feel bad. I think school has taught us that we need to like learn things and retain them without practicing them forever, but that doesn't make any sense in real life. So I would actually say like if you forget about it, it's I mean it's fine as long as like when asked you can pick it up again in a day or so. But that's a great question. uh, All right. Oh, actually, this is a really interesting question. I do want to hit up on this question over here. I'll get back to it. I'll get back to other questions. How big is diversity oh, sorry, you guys can't. Let me put this up over here. How big is diversity and inclusion in America in the analytics field? Like, are more people from diverse backgrounds or getting high positions in jobs or not? It's a mixed bag, I'd say. So there is some kind of diversity, right? Like, so in analytics, you'll see a lot of like men, white people, Indians, and Chinese people. Um, and this is anecdotal. I should say this is very anecdotal. Oh, cool. I'll come back here in a second. And it's very anecdotal, what I'm saying. But I think that you'll see a lot of like those people, so like those people being like, Indians like myself, Chinese people, and then white people in the field, and more men than women in general. Um, and as you go higher up, it gets a little bit wider as you keep going up and up and up. And this is something I'd like read about software engineering too, where like even in IT departments is as you go higher up, it gets a little bit wider. And we don't have as many uh, Hispanic people and Black people, and I'm sure I'm like leaving out some races here, as would probably, as is representative of the population. I'll put it that way. And so I think that is definitely something that, like software engineering, us like analysts working in this technical field need to work on. Um, and it is making progress. And I would say one good thing about analytics, though, is that it is a technical field where your skills are very important and your ability to actually like show results is very important. Like you can't like sweet talk your way and like make relationships just to get to the top. Like a lot of it is like what skills do you actually have. And I think that is one thing that makes the field a bit fairer. But it's something that I think this is something that everyone needs to keep in mind because I think everyone here is eventually going to become quite big in their field. And it's important that we all remember that we need to make sure opportunity is available to as many people as possible. Great question. Okay. As I told you before, I'm an industrial engineer student looking to become a data analyst. I'm learning Power BI. What learning path would you recommend for me after Power BI's? So Daniel, I thought I answered your question. Let me know if I'll keep it a lookout for what you said. But let me know if I didn't answer your question. I would say Python, learn Python next, and then SQL. Yeah, you're learning Power BI right now, so learn Python then SQL, of which I both have. I have courses for both those on my YouTube channel. I'll show you guys right now. M1 machines good for analytics work. Great question. I don't know yet. I'm actually going to be buying the newest M machines whenever they come out, and I will put out a review. I'm waiting for Apple to release their newest M MacBooks. Okay, so let me go back to where I was. Oh, and I should also say, so you'll see over here, I have my Python for data analyst course over here, my Tableau for data analyst course over here, and my SQL for data analyst course over here. Those are the three courses I'd recommend, Daniel. Uh, what is your opinion of Tableau certifications and Alteryx certifications? So I have the Alteryx certification. No one's ever asked me about it. I personally don't believe in Tableau certifications myself, so I've like seen the exam and everything. And I think really it's just a way for Tableau to make more money selling like more of their stuff. Unless you want to become a consultant, like an independent consultant, in which case I'd get the highest end Tableau certification. So Tableau certification. So the thing is like if you are learning Tableau or if you like want to go get a job in Tableau, most of them, at least in the US, won't ask you for certification, nor do they care. I guess it's a way to stand out if like they're really, really hard to if you're like going for a very competitive position. But if you're going to start your own like analytics practice or something and start doing independent consulting, I think this might be useful because when you're doing independent consulting, you'll be talking to a lot of non-technical people, and people who will be hiring you are like non-technical a lot of the time, and they need to see this in order to see that you are qualified. But if you're someone like me, I don't care about your certification if I'm hiring you. I will give you a technical interview with Tableau myself because I know how to use it, and I can tell within 5 minutes if someone knows how to use it. I am working on this and I will try and get it out in the next week. I really do apologize to Shari. This is a really good question. I do need to do this. I kind of have my hands full with my full-time job and my consulting work, but I will definitely get on this. Thank you for bringing that up. What should I do? It's a hard one. This is a really difficult question to answer because it requires me to like know you really well, right? I know for me, I kind of just like sat in front of the computer for 4 hours, even though I wasn't doing anything, just to make sure I would learn some Python. That eventually ended up working. Oh yeah, you're not spamming. These are real questions. Does Power BI work on M1 Max? No, it does not. Power BI, you need to install Parallels desktop, and it'll kind of work on that. Is M1 good for analytics work? I think MacBooks are great for analytics work, except if you need to use Power BI constantly, in which case I would probably just get a Windows. Um, Self-taught, yep. And then let me see if I'm missing anything. So Daniel, I answered your question. So I answered this a little bit earlier in the stream. Yes, if you're just starting. All right, go back up here. Yeah, I answered this earlier. I do. Hello, 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 hello. Hobbies mentioned that. Akash Day. Okay. I was practicing Excel and thought about your watching your day in the life video while I sleep, and here I find you doing a live. Haha, nice, nice. Well, thank you for joining me. Yeah, what? I'm guessing you're in India then. Oh, but no, but I guess it would. Oh no. Oh wow. So anyone who's in India right now, thank you so much. If you're in India right now, why are you watching this? It's 4 o'clock in the morning. Thank you so much. But why are you watching this? I know in Europe it's yeah, yeah, it's like bedtime in Europe right now. I'm guessing the UK it's a little bit earlier. Yeah, only about an hour earlier. All right. Uh, what are things to keep in mind? So are you working in Dallas or New York or somewhere else? The JP Morgan has a really big office here in Dallas. Um, I would say always go and understand the business. I think a lot of analysts get really caught up in the technicals and forget that at the end of the day, the best analysts understand the business and understand business processes. What do I mean when I say that? What I mean is that it can get very tempting to just get like really focused on Python and SQL and Tableau. But at the end of the day, your job is to increase revenue for the business or something, to that effect. Basically, you need to increase some bottom line somewhere. And I think that it is really easy for us to forget that as analysts. And we get really focused on like the querying and like the technical stuff. That's all very important. But you need to ask yourself whenever you're given an objective, like, what am I trying to accomplish here? And what business objective am I trying to push forward? What KPI am I trying to improve? And I would say that's something that's very important to remember. How do you show in your resume that you're fluent in coding languages if you're self-taught? Yeah, I'd say portfolio, and I would just say you know it. So people just assume you know stuff on your resume until you prove them wrong. So I just like put in like fluent in Python or something. Yeah, what do you think at any point is there an intersection of DevOps with data analysis? I think so. So I think data analysis is just a set of skills, really, like, right? Can you take a bunch of data and can you derive insights from it? So if you're a DevOps manager, maybe you could like see, okay, here's like the efficacy of our engineers. Here's how many hours they're working versus how many lines of code they write. Don't make lines of code your KPI, but making Tableau dashboards out of that kind of stuff. I think that there's an intersection between data analysis, and literally everything because if everything produces data, and if you can take that data and derive some insights from it, there's your insight, there's your intersection. uh, Python for me. Hello, hello. Yes, without a master's degree it's very, very difficult. A master's are better. um, how I would learn to code if I could start, yeah, yeah, that's a good idea. Let me go ahead and save this. So I'm skipping around a little bit just to make sure that I don't lose track of what people are currently saying. Um, Learn Python. I have a course for Python on my YouTube channel down here. Yes, I can. So I've been avoiding this one for a little while only because it doesn't interest me too much, but it is a question I get a lot. So, Avenger Scene, you asked a question. Okay. Where did you ask your question? Unless I'm missing an Avenger Scene, I think I'm yet to get to your question, Avenger Scene, unless I missed it. Yeah, so Avenger Scene, I don't even think I'm at your question yet. So I'll get to your question when I get to it. NYC. Okay, cool. Okay. What do you think at any point is it appropriate to call someone who works almost exclusively with Excel data an analyst? Yeah. I think so. I think if I had to attach a technical skill as like a minimum for being a data analyst, I'd say like maybe SQL. The good thing is SQL is not that hard to learn. So I would say that might be a minimum. But Excel is a tremendous tool, and like if the data you work with works really well in Excel, I think it's a great thing to use. Yes, good for you. Less smoke is good for health. Yeah, I don't remember what you mentioned by that. Favorite pizza topping? Mushrooms. Mushrooms 100%. Yes, exactly, Danielle. Great call out before the pandemic. What do you recommend for someone starting off as computer information systems degree? Also, in New nice. I love New York. Great city. I would recommend building. I say this to almost everyone, but I would definitely recommend building up SQL skills first. SQL and Tableau, or I would say, let me rephrase it. I think a BI tool such as Power BI or Tableau is a tremendous way to break into the industry, and then after that, learn SQL and then Python. Uh, Postgres. Postgres is my favorite server. Um, when are you going back to traveling? So I'm not exactly sure quite yet. Okay, so let me go back to. As a data analyst, have you ever applied your skills in analyzing the crypto world or even stocks and made some extra money on the side? Actually, I have not. Every time me personally, I have very, very little interest in the financial world. I mean, I think I have like I have my opinions of Wall Street, just financial work, and not saying that if you're into it, you're into it. It's totally fine. So I think because of that, I just don't have much of an interest in like that kind of work. But I think it's a tremendous application of analytics, and I think you should definitely pursue it if you want to. And actually, I got a TikTok recently where someone was asking me that kind of a question. They were Yeah, I don't know if you guys can see that, but basically this person like asked me the question on TikTok. Could you show me a group by? I'm trying to make a crypto portfolio, and I need to group transactions that are the same asset plus add other columns in rows. So again, if you follow me on TikTok, I actually like I'm a little bit more daily active on that because it's just a better platform for being active that way. Um, if you are working at a company right now, SQL. If you're not working at a company right now, Python. You can do more with Python. In that case, I'd say Python. Learn Python first. And yeah, great, great. Yeah, because you can do a lot more with Python than you can with SQL. Obviously, they're for different purposes. But I would recommend Python first. You can do a lot more with that. And SQL is very, very easy to learn. Uh, how big is diversity and inclusion in? Okay, we went over that. New role in analytics project, but I'm confused what I should do. Learn Python, Power BI, or should I move towards data engineering? So you're an ETL developer. So you're much closer to data engineering. I think you should do what you want. Look at what the jobs are all about. Look what the jobs teach you, and what the jobs actually will entail you doing, and then do that. I think that it's a little bit difficult, right? Like I don't want to be telling you what you should do because you know yourself a lot better than I do. As far as what would be easier, probably data engineering. I would learn Power BI first, and then Python right after that. Power BI because it's easy to learn and it allows you to like quickly start creating value for your company. So that's why I would say that first, and then Python second. Because Python, it takes a while to learn it to a point where you're actually good enough to do useful stuff with it. Yep, exactly. I think Francis Okoye here is the real G. He has all the insights. I think yeah, this is exactly what I do as well. Whenever that exactly, exactly. How to get a girlfriend as a data analyst? Interesting question. I do have my opinions on like the quote unquote like how do you get a girlfriend? Same in the UK. Yeah, yeah. Eight terms. Hey, Sean, would you say JavaScript is important to learn if you want to become a data professional? What is it? I would no, I would not say JavaScript is important. I think JavaScript is great for consulting work actually because you can use JavaScript for a lot of like front end web development, and there are a lot of contracts out there for like people to do front end web development. So I would actually say like in that sense JavaScript is useful, but generally for data work, not really. It's not used in many places. Recommended course for learning MongoDB. I actually don't have one. Maybe I'll make one for this. I don't. I learned MongoDB by just like Googling. I didn't actually take a course on it. DataCamp courses worth adding to a LinkedIn profile. We just look down upon that. I wouldn't look down on anyone that has like certifications on their profile. Just don't expect me to look up to that. Is what I would say. So definitely go ahead and add it. If you've done something, add it. Unless you have like many years of experience or your profile is like too big, In which case you want to start like shaving stuff off and like only showing the big stuff. Um, Consulting for your clients as your side hustle. If so, how do you do it? Are you using websites like Fiverr to get clients? So yes, I do consulting for my clients as a side hustle, correct? Um, that is exactly what I do. If so, how did you do it? Upwork, long story short, I will make a video in the future, like with more details to it, but like generally speaking, Upwork. And I watched a bunch of videos of like how other people like got contracts on it. And are you using websites? So I don't use Fiverr, I use Upwork because I'm not a big fan of the project based, or let me back it up. I don't think you can make as much money on Fiverr. I think, I haven't actually tried it myself, so that's why I kind of like Upwork a little bit better. Can you share some thoughts on how to manage the issue? Lots of missing data. Almost each column has about 5,000 missing values. Problem with these columns are object type. Ooh, okay, interesting. Um, so you have a couple of solutions here, right? When you have missing data, you can either impute new data, or you can get rid of the column, really. Or you can get rid of the column, or you can get rid of the rows with the missing data. Since you have a lot of missing data, getting rid of it might not be a good idea. And since it's an object type, it might be hard to get rid of that. It might be hard to impute the data. What you can do actually is you can take your other columns and you can go ahead and combine and put those into a machine learning model and predict what the missing data types or what the missing object values are and use that instead. So that's one creative solution to this problem. Train another machine learning model to do that. Is the Google Data Analyst course good? Yes, for beginners. Answer your question. Let me just make sure I'm not missing anything. Uh, hey, I was unemployed for about a year after graduation, so don't get discouraged. Uh, yeah, no TikTok in India. Yeah, I that's why I post my what do you call it? My data analyst interview questions on YouTube Shorts as well, but YouTube Shorts is just not as good as TikTok, honestly. Like it doesn't let me respond to people as easily, and I'm not as active on it, so I do apologize for that. Um, yes, I think I took that suggestion. Just log through. It's not hard, really. Don't worry. Just put your head down, move forward. Once the ball gets rolling. Yeah, that. So Naman, you're exactly right. This is exactly what I did. So I didn't take that course, but this is me for Python. And you're 100% right. Is networking and building? I think networking and building relationships is important in literally any career. They always say that like, people like say they hate like networking and stuff, but at the end of the day, like your career is a human endeavor, and interacting and like networking with other humans is incredibly key for you being able to do that. Learn Python, I'd say. After the Google Analytics course, learn Python. Uh, yeah, yeah. I think Procrastinator has some good insights over there. Yes. Uh, hey, thank you so much, Naman. Yo, yes, shout out for chemical engineering. Let's go. Yes, if you don't get a sponsoring employer, you do have to go back to India. So I have a lot of uh, cousins and friends who are H-1Bs, and if you've run out your there's like some like I think it's like an OPT or something. If you run that out and you can't get your H1B, then yeah, you do have to go back to India. Or I have friends who what they did is they went and they worked for a big firm like Bain and Company or something like that. And what those big firms will do is those big firms will just like place you in their London office or something. So I think if you are an international person working in the U.S., a big firm is great because they'll just place you in some foreign office if you can't get in. Wow, that's crazy. Well, thank you so much for joining. Uh, I will get to this in a second. What's your opinion on Ronaldo and Coca-Cola? Interesting. I don't actually. Okay. Oh! I did see it. I did see it. I think that's actually hilarious, and I'm so glad Ronaldo. So for those of you that didn't, let's see, Ronaldo Coca-Cola. Okay, so for anyone that didn't see it, I believe this is what he's talking about. Okay, so Ronaldo was like giving a press conference, and I think he was like given two Cokes. I guess like Coke sponsors him or something, and then he kind of just like puts it away and like picks up the water, And I'm actually very glad he did that. Like at the end of the day, if the people who are making, like, Cristiano Ronaldo does not need Coca-Cola. Like, he makes so much money, he's so popular, he doesn't like need any individual sponsor. If they're not taking, responsibility for their influence, and who's going to take any responsibility? So I think it's awesome that he's like, hey, I am one of the world's best athletes. I do not drink Coke, at least not on a regular basis. I drink a lot of water. Because I've always thought it was so funny that, like, when athletes are like sponsored by like junk food brands, like, I love Coke. I think Coke's amazing. I'm also not a professional athlete. I just thought it was always funny whenever like Coke would sponsor like a professional athlete. It's like, what are you doing? Like, it's like no one, no, none of these people drink Coke on a regular basis. But yeah, fun question. Ooh, good question. I'll come back to that. Yep, there you go. Hey, procrastinator, thank you so much for thank you for like helping build. So procrastinator, Numan, I believe I'm missing someone else. But like in any of the people here like answering questions, thank you for helping build such a tremendous community. Really want to give you guys a shout out. Yeah, exactly. I call them drunk drinks, but like, I mean, I drink Coke too. It's like it's incredibly delicious, but like people should not be loading themselves up with that stuff. Uh, because of night shifts. I think this is a response to my like question about like, yo, it's 4 o'clock in the morning in India. Why are you guys watching? Um, not right now, but my team recently picked up forecasting work. Sometimes I find making queries with JavaScript before importing to Python. Okay, okay. In that case, hey, line code. I think if this works for you, great. This is great. I think I should also give a note. Anything like, I'm very much not like, I wouldn't even call myself an expert in my field. Like, I know what I'm talking about, I know what I'm doing, but I'm not an expert in my field. I'm quite early in my own career. So yeah, if I would say whatever I see whatever I say, like, do your own research, and if you come to a different conclusion, that's awesome. Okay. When are you going back to traveling? Not really sure right now. Okay. Do you have a favorite database? I said Postgres. Is it hard finding jobs with the Google course? The Google course is so new that no one really knows quite yet. So you would definitely be like, testing it out. Do you have anything fun on your bucket list? Bucket list, interesting. I would like to visit Afghanistan. Um, yeah, I would really like to visit Afghanistan one day. And obviously, right now that would, especially, yeah, that's just like not a great idea to visit Afghanistan. Like, it's even like luxury hotels there are quite dangerous, is my understanding. And but at the end of the day, like, the more so I'm a huge history nut. I guess I just say that, like, you read about like a lot of these countries, maybe just like 40 years ago, and how normal stuff was. Maybe not so much Afghanistan because the Soviets invaded in the 80s. But you have there are a lot of places in the world like Iran, Afghanistan, that I like really, really like to visit. But as an American, it's either difficult, or in the case of Afghanistan, there's so much instability over there. It's just not a tremendous idea. I think that's like very much on my bucket list. Like, seeing these places that, like, at least growing up, I've always thought of as dangerous. I really want to check them out. Uh, Test, my question isn't going through. I may have not gotten to it yet. Oh, it looks like, okay. So I'm almost running out of time. So anyone that has any other questions, feel free to, like, if you send me a super chat again, I'll go ahead and read your question. I should talk about the giveaway right now. So, Humble Bundle. So Humble Bundle, I don't know if anyone's familiar with it, but Humble Bundle is basically a uh, company, I guess, an organization. And what they do is that they will get developers, like, kind of donate their games and stuff to, so that they can sell it at a discounted price for charity, and some of the money goes into charity. Um, and they have a bundle going on right now for data science and analytics. Here it is. So, ooh, Mongolia would be super cool to travel to. I really want to go to Mongolia. Yeah. Any tips on contacting? I think if you can just say, hey, I can like make, like, I would say go to data.gov, answer some like make some dashboards on that, then go to a small company and say, hey, here are like dashboards I make. I'll make them for free for you if you give me your data or something like that. Yes, you can. Long story short, you're very, very qualified. So back to this. So here's the giveaway, right? So I am going to buy the $25 pack, which I think has everything inside it, of these books over here, and I will leave the link over here to anyone that joins the giveaway. So the giveaway, oh, I guess I can't. Okay, wait. So it's too long for me to actually post it inside the chat. Let me copy, paste. Giveaway bundle. So I'm going to be giving away the $25 pack over here to anyone who is subscribed and comments, what are you working on right now to improve your analytics skills? So comment, what are you doing right now to improve your analytics skills? And then be subscribed. And I will pick someone randomly, probably in like a week or so, um, in order to actually like I'll donate this gift to for them. And if you're a Patreon or if you're a patron on my Patreon, then you will automatically get like a entry separately. So like I will do it for the patrons separately, and that's a much smaller pool. So obviously, if you're a patron, then you'll have a much greater chance of actually winning the giveaway. So this is just my way of thanking you guys for all the support you guys have given me and for getting us to 14,000 subscribers, you know, and let's keep growing. But 14,000 subscribers is awesome. And I really want to thank you guys for this. That being said, I have not read any of these books myself, so I'm not necessarily endorsing them, but you know, I mean, yeah, they look really good. So yeah, if you're interested, then go ahead. I'm watching this Q&A. Does that count? You have to leave a comment below. It would be too difficult for me to go through all the people that watch the Q&A. So just watch the Q&A. Oh, that's actually a funny question. You can say like, hey, I'm watching the Q&A. Yeah, that's how I'm getting ready. So yeah, like let me know if you guys are interested in this, and I will be giving this away maybe like in a week or so. If I come on next week and I don't give it to anyone, then like let me know and I'll like go ahead and do it. But thank you guys so much for joining me. If you want to support my work at all or like any of the stuff that I'm doing, let's see. Let me go over here. If you want to like support any of the work that I do, there are a couple of things from their questions I learned more. Hey, well, thank you so much, Francis. That's awesome to hear. Um, you can go ahead and support me directly on my Patreon. If you, a lot of my notes and stuff, I'll go ahead and like put on my Patreon. Like I'll do the video in on YouTube, and then I put the notes on my Patreon. And then I have like a Discord channel and everything over there for anyone that's interested. If you can't or don't want to support me on my Patreon, totally fine. Go ahead and just do a watch like the advertisements on my videos or something. So I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything too much. Of course, of course. Thank you guys so much, and thank you guys so much for your support. Tune in next week for me. I'll be here again on Friday. I stay here for about an hour, like I only because I get so many questions that I would literally be here forever if I tried to answer everything. So I will be here again next week, and I will release the time usually by like Wednesday or Thursday. I like release what time I'll be on. Do we have to go through all the books to be good at data science? Oh no, not at all. I mean, I've never even read these books. So, like I mentioned earlier, like I'm giving away these books, but I've never read them myself. But I figure, they're probably good. I don't think there's anything else up here. Okay, cool. Well, thank you guys so much for your time. Thank you guys so much for your attention, and I will see you guys next week.